Tap it in. Thank y'all for tapping in Yocuzpodcast, man. Like I say, I'm gonna drop a video back to back, and it gotta make sense, man. It gotta make sense. So guess what? Make sure y'all subscribe, like, and drop a comment to this channel. PSA, I ain't gonna waste no time with you. So Trump is sending the National Guards to Chicago. Yes, he's sending the National Guards to Chicago, y'all. You feel me? So guess what? When he go to Chicago, he's snatching all the Spanish people. Everybody's shit ain't right. Listen, this man turning up, bruh. They do not want him in Chicago. So Trump said, you better get your shit together or I'm bringing the National Guards to Chicago. So y'all seen it first on this Yocuzpodcast show. We lit. I ain't gonna waste no time because I want y'all to see this shit, bruh. Like for real, I really want y'all to see this, man. We lit. Let's go.
Increasing threats to deploy federal forces to Chicago. The president said he wants a crackdown on crime there, while the Democratic governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, is calling it something else, a potential invasion. So far this Labor Day weekend, dozens of shootings have been reported in Chicago. The president is warning that Pritzker, he better, quote, straighten it out fast or we're coming. The governor says the White House is making plans.
So listen, in Chicago, 6 people were killed and 24 people were shot in Chicago last week, bruh. That's a lot of people, bruh. For real. So you picture how many guns he gonna take off the streets, bruh. Like they say, oh yeah, Chicago go hard. Chicago this. I don't know, but I know they came to the DMV and cleaned the DMV up, bruh. No bullshit, bruh. And they still doing it right now, bruh. So guess what? One dude told me the other day, yeah, when they go to Chicago, bruh, they got rocket launchers on the roof. I said, hold up, bruh. They got rocket launchers on the roof, bruh. I said, send me that video, because I want to know. I just want to know, bruh. I never seen it. I seen it in the movies. But in real life, nah, man. So I ain't gonna waste no time. Let's go.
Plans in secret without communicating with his office, and it does come as CNN is reporting that the Trump administration is planning a major immigration operation in Chicago as early as this week. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has confirmed that ICE will expand operations in that city and other locations. But Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has now signed an executive order instructing local police not to assist in any federal immigration crackdown. Let's get right to Chicago this morning for the latest. CNN's Whitney Wild is there. Whitney, give us the status.
John, the expectation here is that there are going to be federal resources surged into the city of Chicago by Friday. The expectation is that's going to look like at least armored vehicles, very likely boots on the ground here. And when you're looking at some framework across the country to find out how this is going to look in Chicago, the question is it going to look like Washington, D.C., or is it going to look like Los Angeles? And our sources are telling us that this is going to look a lot more like Los Angeles. And that means that this is going to be an immigration push. So the plan here, as we understand it, is that this is going to surge immigration agents to Chicago. The potential for the National Guard deployment would be for a peacekeeping.
I don't know, y'all. They might gotta run for their money, bruh. They supposed to be in Chicago Friday. You feel me? They probably gotta run for their money, y'all. For real. For real. Because Chicago waiting for them to come right now. They already know Trump is sending them. Trump sending them. No matter what they say, the man told the police, don't go with them. Don't roll with them. Don't roll with ICE against the Spanish people or whatever. Bro, they clean this shit up. It's not a game. If you got that work, you better get rid of that work and chill. Go invest that money. It's not a game, bro. All that sneaky shit niggas was doing, bro, that shit is deceased. That shit is over, bro. Literally, you better go get your JLB, find your hustle, run your own business, bro. Get a trade and grow, bro. That's what he want. But he been told y'all. He been told y'all that he was going to do all this. He already told y'all he was going to do all this, bro. He already told y'all, bro, he was going to come to the city, clean the city up. He already cleaned up L.A. Now he about to clean up Chicago, bro. That man ain't playing, bro. That man ain't playing, bro. Y'all seen the first one at Yocuzpodcast. We lit. Let's go.
Keeping effort. The White House in Los Angeles had previously said that the role of the National Guard was really to ensure that these agents can carry out their immigration duties effectively and safely. The city is doing whatever they can to try to stop this ahead of time, John. And
So listen, Chicago crimes, July 2025 compared to July 2000 and what's that? Damn, I can't even see that. Probably like 24, right? Homicides, 35%. Shooting, 26%. Robbing, 36%. Car theft, 21%, man. Listen. It's off the hook everywhere, bro. It ain't just the DMV, bro. Everywhere you go, bro. Everywhere you go. It's like it's off the hook, bro. So keep your eyes open, man. We lit. Let's go.
enforcement here will admit that there's just, and city leaders here will admit there's just not a lot that they can do. The Illinois Attorney General has made clear he cannot file a lawsuit preemptively. Meanwhile, Brandon Johnson, as you had mentioned, signed an executive order reaffirming the city's steps in reaction to this. So it directs city officials not to engage with federal officials as they carry out these actions. Specifically, the Chicago Police Department is not to partake in any of these actions. City offices need to look for legal and legislative efforts to try to stop this. Meanwhile, Governor J.B. Pritzker, who has publicly sparred with President Trump, who has drawn the president's ire by name, is firing back. Here are some very terse words from J.B. Pritzker on this potential immigration deployment.
Got safety protocols? Grainger has the safety pros to call.
No one in the administration, the president or anybody under him, has called anyone in my administration and me, have not called the city of Chicago or anyone else. So it's clear that in secret they're planning this, well, it's an invasion with U.S. troops if they in fact do that.
The crime situation here, as we just had some crime stats up, I want to walk you through that a little bit more, because what the leaders here say is that Chicago represents a success story. They've been able to effectively bring down major crime categories in double digits. However, as you saw President Trump point out, they had a really violent weekend in Chicago over Labor Day weekend. 24 people shot, several people killed. So there is, you can make data say a lot of things, John. And for the Trump administration, it is representative of a major problem here. However, leaders here look at the crime drop as a success story.
Yeah, the data in the middle of the political debate right now. Whitney Wild.
They try and say that them numbers that was on the side of that screen is a lie. That's crazy. So they lied. But look though, if y'all go back like 3 more videos of Trump on there, Trump said that a dude left the White House because they wanted him to lie about the numbers, so he quit. So hey, y'all gotta pay attention what's going on. Don't get mad at me because cuz paying attention. That's it. This the real shit what's going on out here, not that fake shit. We got to leave that fake shit alone and deal with what's going on right here. You feel what I'm saying? That shit that they focus on and motherfuckers jumping around and the kids being crazy. Yo, this the real shit right here. What's going down in life. Because if they send a bomb over this joint, nobody not gonna know because they so distracted of these goddamn phones. For real. Nobody don't know nothing what's going on, bro. Nobody don't know nothing what's going on, bro. This the real shit that's about to go down right now in Chicago. It already went down in D.C. Everybody was, oh, damn, bro, he doing this. No, nigga, he dropped the crime down. He cleaned it up, man, so the kids can go to the playground and the older people could ride around in their wheelchairs and shit like that. At first, man, you can't do that, man. You get carjacked, man. Like it's crazy, bro. Everybody looking at the wrong picture of what that man doing. What that man doing, Joe, he wants you to move right. Because he knows a lot of people moving wrong, bro. That's why they mad, because guess what? They're going to have to move right and correctly. If you ain't moving right or correctly, bro, that shit going to come to a cease, bro. For real. Not playing. She gonna come to a cease, bro. Let's go.
For us in Chicago, thank you very much. Yana?
All right, joining me now is CNN senior political analyst Ron Brownstein. He's written a CNN analysis about the messaging from Democrats against the president, including his threats to send National Guard troops to more U.S. cities. It's titled, "This One Word Captures the Most Important Division Among Democrats." And not to spoil too much, but that word is distraction. So tell us more what you mean about that one important word, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the one word is distraction. When the Democratic congressional leaders like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries criticize Trump's actions in terms of threatening democracy or deploying troops to U.S. cities, they almost invariably, Bianna, describe it as a distraction from something else, whether it's Epstein, Medicaid cuts, inflation. That infuriates a whole other camp of Democrats who believe that the deployment of troops to U.S. cities, the other steps Trump has taken to kind of corrode the foundations of democratic safeguards in the U.S. aren't a distraction. They are the central front of his second term. And J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, I think, would be the leaders in that camp. And it really is a divide. Do you want to run against Trump fundamentally on the price of eggs? Or do you want to focus the public on the things that he is doing that very much depart from our tradition? You know, the idea of armored troops in multiple American cities, whatever the justification, whether it's justified on the grounds of immigration enforcement or crime, that is fundamentally alien from the American tradition. I mean, we have not seen troops in U.S. cities except at the moments of greatest civil disorder. We have a Posse Comitatus Act from the 19th century, which theoretically on paper bars the use of troops for domestic law enforcement. This is really an image that is more in common with authoritarian countries of troops in the streets of the biggest cities. And so this is a very significant departure from the way the military has existed throughout our history. You have one group of Democrats who believe that is a fundamental issue, basically. Another one that wants to talk primarily about Medicaid and tax cuts.
And at this point, it's not hypotheticals or threats. We've seen this actually happen in cities like Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and now it appears to be heading for Chicago as well. Secretary Noem saying that ICE resources are going to be deployed to that city with broader expansions, quote, on the table. So politically, what is the play?
So listen, picture all the Spanish people that's there. Everybody ain't got their passport or none of that, or their information ain't right, bruh. Don't you know they jail's about to be packed too? Y'all already know Trump coming. Y'all already know that man ain't playing. When he say he gonna do something, he gonna do it. Can't y'all see? Listen, it's quiet as a mug, bruh. I'm in the DMV right now, and it's quiet as a mug, bruh. Like, I could literally throw a quarter out my window, Joe, and this to the Joan hit the ground, bruh. This what Trump did, bro. That man ain't playing, bro. So everybody who in Chicago or any other state, if your state cutting up, Trump coming in with the military. And y'all know militaries do not ask questions. They shoot. When I was in boot camp, back in my juvenile days in the city, used to get locked up. And you had a choice to go to boot camp or over to jail. I went to boot camp for 6 months. They said the Marines shoot and kill. The Army ask questions, the Navy asks questions, Marines shoot and kill. That's who Trump got walking around in these cities. And they not scared, bro. They gonna shoot you, bro. If you jump out there with that hard shit, you gonna get your ass shot. It's not a game. For real.
Book here for the administration, Ron, and Chicago being the case study, as Whitney reported, they're planning for this to look a lot like what we saw in the streets of Los Angeles where you are right now.
One of the most difficult things is showing plans on a laptop or a small screen because you have to zoom in.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, it's important to understand that the administration has been claiming in court the authority to do this everywhere and anywhere. That original executive order that authorized the deployment of the National Guard to LA did not specify LA or California. It said that the president would be justified to take control of the National Guard anywhere where there are protests against immigration enforcement or where protests could reasonably be expected to develop. And simultaneously in court in California, they are arguing of the Posse Comitatus Act, which is the 19th century law barring the use of the military for domestic law enforcement, essentially is toothless. Courts cannot order any remedy. The only remedy is a criminal prosecution.
Look at them, y'all. Look, they already ready. ICE out of Chicago, bruh. Stop Trump, bruh. Stop the Trump. Yeah, you see him? They already ready for him. You see that? Trump don't give a fuck about none of that. You hear me? That man don't care about none of that, man. That man coming to that city. Trump say, if you ain't gonna stop the killing, I will. That man don't care about none of that. None of that y'all see on the screen right here. That man don't care about none of that shit, bruh. The man is old. He almost 80, bruh. That man don't care. He gonna clean that shit up like he cleaned up LA, like he cleaned up DC. And this is what Trump do. That man don't care nothing about that shit, bruh. Real talk.
A court cannot require the administration not to deploy troops. So they are basically saying they can do this wherever they want. We'll see whether the courts agree. Now, I think the fundamental issue here is, what is this about? Is this fundamentally about fighting crime, or is it about numbing Americans to an image that, as I said, is alien to our history and much more common in authoritarian countries, of troops in the streets of our big cities? Voters trust Trump more than Democrats on crime. Whether they are willing to see troops patrolling the streets of multiple American cities, setting up checkpoints that people have to go through, as they had at points in D.C., that is a very different political question.
Well, quickly, Governor Pritzker says this.
Hold on. The checkpoints in the DMV? Vicious, bro. You turn a corner, bro, you might run into a roadblock, bro. You going down the highway, bro. They might hit you with the... It's not a game, bro. They are not playing. You drive around in the Virginia tags, get rid of that shit, or if not, go to Virginia and get your shit right. It's not a game. Not a game. Your license gotta be right, everything. Good thing they did say, though, that you could drive around with at least 2 ounces of weed, but you can't be smoking. You feel me? But man, fuck that, nigga. Nigga, I don't need smoking a car no more. You hear me? Nigga, my car smell good, bro. It's not a game, bro. I'm not playing with that, man. I'm not going over to jail for no bullshit, bro. I'm not. I'm just not doing it.
This is part of Trump's plan to stop the election, the midterms in 2026, or, quote, to frankly take control of those elections. Do you think he's right?
I think they are, as I said, numbing American to the image of troops in the streets of cities, something that is completely alien to our history, except at the moments of greatest, threat, like major civil disorder. The last time, to do this, Bianna, he will have to federalize the National Guard over the objection of the governor of Illinois, just as he did in California. We haven't seen that since the heyday of the civil rights era, when Southern segregationists were actively impeding the enforcement of federal law. And I think once you make that a routine reflex, anything is on the table and possible.
That's right, because historically it's always been the governors that have requested the National Guard, if need be. Not the case now, that's for sure. Ron Brownstein, thank you so much.
Thank y'all for tapping into that Yocuzpodcast, man. I gave you 2 videos, man. What's going on in real life? Leave that fake shit alone. So when y'all tune into that Yocuzpodcast, y'all ain't gonna get nothing but the 100. So listen, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment to this video. You feel me? Trump coming to Chicago. It's not a game. It's not a game. Nobody don't care what they say, authorize or whatever. He's coming to Chicago the same way he went to Los Angeles, then he did the DMV. It's not a game. He coming there. So guess what? Make sure y'all subscribe to this YouTube channel. I catch y'all on the next